In Philip Roth's novel, The Prague Orgy, the protagonist and narrator Nathan Zuckerman embarks on a journey to Prague, Czechoslovakia in early February 1976. His objective is to acquire the unpublished manuscript of a Yiddish writer. As Zuckerman immerses himself in the city, he encounters a cast of eccentric Czech writers who harbor an obsession with sex and live under constant surveillance by the authorities. Amidst his exploration of Prague, Zuckerman contemplates the significance of literature and Judaism. The story begins in 1976 New York, where Zuckerman meets Sazovsky, a banned Czech writer seeking refuge in America. Sazovsky shares the tragic tale of his father, a brilliant writer who composed stories in Yiddish. These stories were compiled into a manuscript that Sazovsky is desperate to obtain. Unfortunately, his estranged wife, Olga, refuses to surrender it. Sazovsky implores Zuckerman to travel to Prague and retrieve the manuscript on his behalf. Zuckerman complies and arrives in Prague, where he encounters Balatka, a Jewish Czech writer whose work is also banned. Balatka becomes Zuckerman's guide, leading him through the labyrinthine streets of Prague and introducing him to the enigmatic Klenex house. This establishment serves as a venue for illicit orgy parties, frequented by artists and writers who are deemed dissidents by the authorities. Unbeknownst to the participants, Klenex house is under constant surveillance, as the authorities seek to monitor the activities of these subversive individuals. Amidst this backdrop of intrigue and sexual exploration, Zuckerman crosses paths with Olga at Klenex house. Olga, a renowned writer famous for her provocative stories, approaches Zuckerman with a plea for both sexual intimacy and marriage. Her eccentricities include revealing her vagina to anyone present and indulging in copious amounts of alcohol. Zuckerman finds himself navigating a complex web of desires, personal ambitions, and the allure of forbidden love as he grapples with Olga's proposition. After Balatka takes him to his rundown apartment, Zuckerman witnesses firsthand the dismal living conditions endured by writers in Prague. The next day, he meets Olga at his hotel as planned. However, his encounter with a Czech student delivers a jarring revelation. Zuckerman is warned that the authorities are concocting a case against him, accusing him of colluding with dissident Czech writers to undermine the communist regime. Startled by this news, he hastily confesses his true motive for coming to Prague to Olga and implores her to hand over the manuscript. Much to his dismay, Olga reacts with outrage and vehemently refuses his request. Deeply unsettled by the warning and Olga's rejection, Zuckerman embarks on a significant trolley ride to Balatka's apartment, where he experiences profound insights into his Jewish identity. He feels an undeniable connection to the Eastern European Jewish heritage, which stirs his emotions. Balatka, however, reassures him, suggesting that the authorities are not interested in pursuing him. He assures Zuckerman that he can continue his activities in Prague without fear. Taking a spontaneous leap, Olga unexpectedly hands over the coveted manuscript to Zuckerman and instructs him to inform Sazovsky and his mistress that she has given it to him without any demands in return. Filled with a mix of anticipation and apprehension, Zuckerman returns to his hotel. However, his relief is short-lived as, within a mere 15 minutes, the authorities swoop in and confiscate the manuscript. Placed in a foreboding black limousine, Zuckerman finds himself face to face with Novak, the Minister of Culture and a successful writer. Novak, who reveres his father's unwavering loyalty to every occupying regime, deems him a true hero. Abandoned at the airport without the manuscript, Zuckerman boards a flight bound for Geneva, Switzerland, where he will make his connecting journey back to New York. As Zuckerman reaches passport control, The agent acknowledges Czechoslovakia's apparent plight in his visit, but insists that it is now time for him to return to America. With a mixture of relief and lingering uncertainty, Zuckerman resumes his travels, bound for home, leaving behind the tangled web of intrigue and the precious manuscript that slipped through his fingers in the politically charged landscape of Prague.